Hey crew, Mark Hatmaker here. We're going to do a video clip talking about a technique used by Battling Nelson. First things first, let's get important business out of the way. Apparently we get an associate, a good friend over there in South Africa, Martinez of District Bassett. He says a good friend of his, Ben Visa, was in an accident. He's actually in ICU right now, and his friend Martinez asked me to give a shout out to him. Hey brother, get better, get out of the hospital, get back on your feet, man. So our best to you, all right? So it seems crass to move right into commerce, but please heal up, man. Then let's move on to the order of the day, where we're talking about Battling Nelson. He was a hell of a fighter. We won't call him a boxer. There's nothing sweet about his style. He used a lot of inside dirty techniques, and one of the things he used was something called a scissors punch. He would fire, and he was firing his lead hook to the liver. Now keep in mind now, he fought orthodox style with the left hand forward. I'm a southpaw. So whenever he was firing, it's unclear sometimes if you're trying to look at some of the old film, if he's firing with the hook with the palm facing into the body as such, you're firing against his 100-pound bag, or if he's actually rolling over and putting a palm down position. I don't throw palm down hooks or anything, particularly a bag this big. I don't like throwing my hands out unless I got them wrapped up. So what is clear, when he's talking about whenever he's throwing this so-called scissors punch, is whenever he's throwing a hook to the liver, he describes it, and it's described by various sources, as extending the thumb and the forefinger in scissors fashion. Now sometimes you're going to hear some sources is talking about it's moving across as if possible with the hand in the palm down position to strike against the liver. This is a penetrating shot, and sometimes you might hear it being described as this palm in position. I find in all the test runs with this stuff, I find the palm down version. I find whenever I'm turning over in this position, the wrist gets too crazy pushed out. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Battling Nelson was he was also called the Durable Dane, and for good reason. The guy was one of those, he would take 3 shots to throw his one. I mean, he didn't matter. He'd just get in there and mix it up. He was fine with a huge pain tolerance. And I'm fine. I'm not that guy, particularly if you're working on a heavy surface. So I'm giving you some variations from what he did so you don't blow your hands out. Because I find that if you go right into trying to work into this scissoring position here, you'll start jamming thumbs and fingers all over the place. Now keep in mind, this is from the day of skin-tight glove era. So it obviously in full-bore gloves and boxing, it's illegal anyway, not going to use it. MMA gloves, I'm sure you could work around it, but I'm sure the rule says you can't. So it's going to be great for a street technique. And whenever you learn to get this down right, really unsettling when it makes the impact of the liver. Now I find to help you get this down, instead of doing a full extension on it, and sometimes you hear it, it seems to make more sense whenever I'm hearing about it. The thumb is extended and rolling back, so you get that second knuckle of the index finger, and you could be making some impact along the lines with this. So we can see how that's crimped in together. And again, I find it works far better to do it with the palm down, so a palm down hook to the liver with the thumb extended and having the index knuckle out here. I still find that gives me a little bit too much snap and give, particularly this is like I said, a 100-pound bag, even working on a 70 all the way down to 40, there's a problem. And I find one thing that helps me is to make another variation, which instead of calling it a true scissors punch, we're going to call it a dig position, which I find that I will kind of fold the thumb over and let this extended knuckle of the forefinger kind of act as a bolstering position. So I'm still kind of hitting in. I'm not trying to make the thumb the primary dig. I'm still making the thumb. Can we see that? The thumb and the top knuckle right here. These are primarily making impact at the same time. And again, we don't want to fold this through a full bore in a bag like this because we know the liver is just a much softer target. So, as a backup to it, you can see right here I've got a sandbag. What I've done with the sandbag instead is I've taken that rubber garden mulch you can pick up at Home Depot or Lowe's and filled it with that instead. So that gives me some dig in it. So this allows me, I'm able to get a lot more smack out of it. So you can still work your same ideas all the way through whenever you're doing your standard boxing. You can work your power for your hook. But when it comes time to work on the either the scissors punch, again, it was always thrown as the lead hook to the liver, or this Nelson dig, which is this variation of turn the hand over, both these striking at the same time. Get all your boxing work in, and then get used to throwing that out there with a great level of alacrity, throwing it in there. And once you start working it, take it easy. If you kind of play back and forth when you have a live partner with it, you're going to find just it's really unsettling. You get used to just little short percussive shots from the standard punch, even with a glove on it. When you start getting that dig position in there, really feel it. It's going to really light you up. And yes, this will be on a future Raws along with far more, lots of dirty shots of pugilism. And yes, at the Western Warrior Boot Camp, we're going to have entire sections dedicated to more of these little dirty tricks. Anyway, hope you enjoy that. Battling Nelson, grab some of his old fights. Take a look at that particular thing with Joe Gans. It's absolutely amazing. And if you give a shot against either the scissors hook, the scissors punch, or the Nelson dig, let me know how it works for you.